Well, today's onion time. We're going to get these onions out in the garden. We'll get this little pot out in the garden. And we'll get those onions out. We got another plot in the high tunnel we got to get out too. These lettuces, they got to get out in the high tunnel. We're going to plant those today. It's still too early for celery. And we got a few leftovers here. We'll get these in the high tunnel. Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, collard, and a kale.
Today we're planting onions. So Todd's going to show you the process that he uses and the little special things he puts in the ground in order to make the onions grow well. So Todd, tell us what you're doing.
Now this is a quick release calcium here. It's called a walsonite.
Walsonite?
Yeah, walsonite. This is a gypsum.
It's gypsum.
This is a slower release calcium. About a month ago I hit these onion beds with gypsum. You want your calcium in your soil to be at its peak for the first 12 weeks of these onions' life. We kept them at their peak when we was growing them in the basement. Now we want to keep them at the peak for another 8 weeks in the onion beds. Because calcium is your cell division trigger. So the more calcium you got, the more cells they can build. And then when it comes time for fruit fill, your potassium will fill that onion up. This is all your trace minerals from A to Z. It's got a little bit of feather meal, slow release amino acids, nitrogen in it. Stick these in here. And all of our gardens are no-till. The last time we tilled is whenever we started them, probably 5 years ago. Because if you till, you kill.
So how deep are you planting them?
Onions are real shallow. So what I do, I'll plant them up to this white line on your onion. And then later on, whenever they start making a bulb, I'll clear out until I come to the roots of the onion and just leave the bulb sticking above the ground. But for right now, I'm taking them down probably 3/4 to an inch. They'll grow out. The roots will grow out to about 8 inches all the way around this onion. And this 8 inches, they're only probably an inch to an inch and a half deep.
The root.
The root is. And then they like V down to the center of the onion. And they'll go down probably another 5, 6, 8 inches. And they'll come back up to the band of this onion. That's why it's so important to keep this calcium as close to the surface as you can, because calcium is a very heavy mineral and it sinks. So if we get a lot of rain, we need to come back and put more calcium on them to keep them at the calcium peak. And boron is very important too, because boron puts pressure on your calcium and it moves it. Especially it moves it up in these onions.
So it comes up the onion stem.
You know, come all the way to the top. That's where you want your calcium to come all the way at the top. So whenever these onions die, when these onion leaves are dying, the calcium goes back down to your fruit. But these are all wilty because I took them out of the soil too soon.
Okay.
But they'll come out of it.
Yeah.
Onions are very hard plant to kill.
Okay, so you dig a hole.
Yeah, just dig a little hole there. I don't even have to use this. I can just use my fingers. And then we water a little bit of water more often is better than a whole bunch of water at one time. I forgot to feed that little fella. Here's your sulfur, your gypsum.
Sulfur, gypsum, and where do you get your sulfur and gypsum?
We get ours from an Amish retailer.
Stick into the hole and it releases the plant. So I'll just push that stick in there and
Don't hurt my roots.
yeah, ain't no helping that.
Well, we got the onions in. Got probably 50, 60 feet of onions in this one, 3 wide. Same as this lane. We got these a little closer. We'll be harvesting them earlier. These over here, they're a little wider apart. They'll be going into storage for this winter. Garlic's doing good. It's come to life. And we went ahead and planted the peas. So up against this trellis, we got peas on both sides so they can lock each other in as they're growing. We extended our water line over to the chicken coop so we can water the strawberries if we ever want to, and getting ready for the potatoes. Yeah, we'll keep you updated every time we feed the onions, what we do.